Hey guys, welcome to our D23 show.
Hey everybody.
We're going to talk today about our reactions, our responses to the news.
The announcements.
The various announcements that happened at D23 in, was it in Anaheim, I believe?
Yes.
In California.
California.
And we sadly didn't get to go.
No.
But we were watching all our favorites. We were watching the Diz Unplugged.
Yeah, Diz Unplugged.
Adam the Woo. Justin Scarred. A variety of others probably. Just, what's that other one? Diz News. DSNY. DSNY Newscast. A lot of stuff like that. And so we got a good idea of what's new and what's going on. And so we just want to talk about it and give our opinions.
Yep.
So we're going to start with the Disney Legends panel.
Alright.
Okay.
So who do we have first?
So here are the new Disney Legends.
Okay.
And we're going to start, let's just start the way I wrote it down, randomly.
Go for it.
We start with Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Disney legend, Carrie Fisher.
I think that's awesome.
Star Wars, Princess Leia. Yeah. Well, we love Carrie Fisher.
Right.
Okay, but what I want to talk about, with all of these is...
Do you think she should be a Disney
Should legend? They be a Disney legend? With Carrie Fisher... Now, one thing about Carrie Fisher, because we all know she was in one Star Wars movie for Disney.
Right.
And we can't really think of anything else she did for Disney, right?
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, I don't believe that just because they've acquired Star Wars that they should be considering, you know what I mean?
Making them Disney princesses,
right.
or Disney Legends. Sorry, Disney Legends.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
She is a Disney princess.
Right. I feel like that's a little bit unfair.
Maybe not officially, but yeah, well, here's the thing about Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, or she did.
Right.
She did a lot of script doctoring. We found that, we didn't even know about that.
We found that out.
She did a lot of script doctoring on various films. The fact is, I don't know how much stuff she worked on for Disney.
I don't know either.
Behind the scenes, and maybe none.
But
maybe a lot,
I think the only thing that they said that she did was the Star Wars films, but I mean, who knows?
I don't know if anybody we were watching really knew what movies she had worked on in all of her script doctoring or anything else. I think she had written some films.
My little Star Wars heart wants her to be a Disney legend, of course. I mean,
and I'm gonna feel that way about a lot of people that made it to Disney Legends.
Technically, would you say she should or shouldn't be? I guess we don't have enough info to go on.
I would say I don't have enough info to go on. But in my heart, she is.
Right. And
I don't have a problem with it because we love Carrie Fisher.
I know.
And she would have done a lot more, I think, if she had the chance with Disney, you know?
Okay.
So I don't have a problem. But that's me. But I understand if anyone does. Mark Hamill, same situation, basically.
However, hasn't he done...
Well, he's done a lot of voice acting, and I don't know, again, I don't know how much of that was for Disney. I mean, maybe none of it, maybe a lot. I mean, we know he's famous for doing the Joker more than anything, really, but he's done a lot of other stuff, you know? So it's possible, because offhand, I can only think of Force Awakens.
I guess it's the exact, you're right, is it the exact same situation with him
and again, we're big Star Wars people. Huge Star Wars fans. So we're happy about it, but we don't know. It might be justifiable and it might not be. Oprah Winfrey. Incidentally, these are all for... Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill were for the film category, I think.
And
Oprah is film and television. Maybe they're all film and television.
I believe that she is starting to be more involved with Disney. I'm not buying into the whole ABC thing.
The ABC I feel like Disney was tied in with ABC a lot longer than
Star Wars,
than when they bought it, than before they bought it, you know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And she did, apparently she did some TV movies with Disney and stuff.
Okay.
I know she's done movies for Disney. Randomly, and the things they mentioned was she played Tiana's mom.
Here's the thing. Legend?
No,
Disney
I'm not
legend?
behind this.
I mean,
And yet, the reason I'm not behind it is because, like, it's kind of the same situation as Mark and Carrie. It's just we're big Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
that's all.
Should they really be considered Disney legends? I don't think so.
I think in time,
right? Maybe,
but just the way they're going to be, exploited. I mean, but
I don't know, Disney greats or something.
I think it's possible. It's another thing, same situation. I don't know how much Oprah has done for Disney.
Here's how I feel about it. There are so many illustrators, people behind the scenes who have worked for Disney for their whole lives. Yeah. And I feel like those people are the ones who should be considered Disney legends.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, there's like 10 or 11 people on this list, and
maybe one.
There's like two or maybe four that are like
justifiable,
that are obvious.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say justifiable, but obvious Disney legends. Yeah. Again, a lot of these others we just don't know. We don't have enough information.
Right.
I'm not gonna like. Oprah Winfrey is one that I'm just kind of like, that just sounds like you got a huge name.
Right, right.
But again, it's possible because she does a lot of stuff that we don't know.
I know.
I mean, I'm talking about behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the word legend should be held to a higher standard. You know what I mean?
I'm a long time Disney fan, huge Disney animation fan. And I mean, going back to 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. So there's so many people from all that stuff.
And I mean, and it's not that they've passed away, so they're not considered a Disney legend. They're giving Disney legends to people who have passed away. They're giving posthumous
Disney legends.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, they can go back. It just seems
if this was at least 50-50, maybe it is 50-50. I don't know, but even. I don't know.
Anyway,
it should be 100%. I know. Next one. I'm just going to say this together. This is two people: Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Now I know Stan Lee was Disney. They made him a Disney legend. Did Jack Kirby become a Disney legend too, or was that just in honor?
So. No, I think
an honorary thing. They did. Okay. Well. Two comic book giants. They're Marvel. They're the guys who made Marvel what it is today. They created, Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk.
Never really worked for Disney until now.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
What?
Here's why I believe that they pass as Disney legends. And it's not just because I love the Marvel stuff.
Okay.
For one thing, it's been several years now that they've been making these Marvel movies.
True.
These Marvel movies changed the face of movies.
True.
The whole, I know that the whole, what's the word they use for this this shared universe thing. I know that started with the Universal Monsters back in the 40s.
Right.
But it kind of people never went back to it. It was just like the Universal Monsters. They came out with this and it was just huge. I don't know. Have we ever seen anything this big?
Okay. I understand where you're going with this, and
it was a huge thing for Disney. And when you count the number of movies they've made so far, the Disney ones.
Plus, Stan Lee has been in those movies.
I'm sure he's been involved with them.
What I would say is that of the 4 that we've mentioned, he and Jack Kirby should probably be at the top of the list.
For me, they totally pass.
Disney legends.
I think they totally are Disney legends now because of just what's happened. I mean, with all the movies, they've made a lot of movies, and they're gonna make a lot more. And there's already a bunch that are ready to come out. Black Panther's about to come out. Avengers is gonna be a 2-part Avengers coming out.
You're persuading me.
so many that are already out and gonna come out, and they've changed everything, and they're coming to the parks. And it's a huge thing that they've done with that, and the Star Wars also, but they're just starting with Star Wars.
Right, exactly.
They've got so many movies with Marvel.
Yeah.
That's my case for
I understand that.
I get it. I'm fine with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
I'm not sure how I feel about it yet.
I get it, but
like I said, of all of the ones who have been mentioned, those 2 would be at the top of the list.
Okay. Yeah. Gary Marshall
I love Gary Marshall.
But this is justifiable. I know some people are like, Gary Marshall, was he done? He's done, I think he's done quite a lot with Disney. And I can't really name a ton of it. I can name a few things. I can name things like Hocus Pocus, which is one of our favorite movies.
Pocus. Right there.
And now is a stage show.
Just with that.
At Disney World on Halloween.
I'm sorry. In my mind, I mean, I might be biased.
Anybody involved with Hocus Pocus is a Disney legend. Hocus Pocus, you win. You're anybody. I think he did a lot of Touchstone movies, which are Disney movies. Did. Well, at least a few. I don't know how many he did. And with all the TV stuff he did, some of it might have been Disney. That I don't know. And I know there's other stuff that he's flat out been in, you know, like worked on, directed for Disney.
He made Hocus Pocus.
Maybe not tons of stuff, but we know that one easy. I'm fine with it because I think in the 80s he was probably doing a lot.
Yeah.
You know. Now, then we get to some that are the obvious ones, and we're not going to talk too much about them because basically we were just going to talk about what we thought, and these are obvious Disney legends. Clyde Geronimi is a Disney animation guy since the 30s, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I consider a Disney legend.
Right.
Like, just flat out. Like, that's obvious.
And I think that there's one that we skipped from the... but I think it's probably a pass, too. But anyway, Julie Taymor, who was the Broadway...
I fully think she should be
The Lion King on Broadway. She made that happen. And Wayne Jackson, Imagineering guy.
Yep, since 65.
Yeah, and apparently he was really involved in the development of animatronics and Pirates of the Caribbean Haunted Mansion. And you know, but you know that's like what? That's four people.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with Wayne Jackson, he was involved with Imagineering since 65 and created how many different rides in, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the sheer mass of production that he has done for Disney, you know? I mean, that's
But I don't think that would discount somebody like, say, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who created something that was so huge, you know?
Here's the deal, though. Is Stan Lee really working on these films, or is he just the creator?
That's a good question, but then I don't know how involved he is with that.
Because if he's involved with them, then okay.
Well, because then it becomes the question of
if you just created it,
should they start giving awards, like making legends out of people like A.A. Milne for creating Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I know what you mean, but and maybe they should though. Maybe that does make sense.
Like maybe the Disney legends should have been the directors of these movies that have been coming out. You know what I mean? Like, assuming they've done more. I'm not sure about who directed what in Marvel, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's those people usually will like direct one and then or
but
two.
Is there anybody who's been directing a few?
Yeah, as far as like you're talking about modern. Oh, you're talking about Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have like Happy Hogan from the Iron Man films. Jon Favreau.
Absolutely.
Jon Favreau is going the way of a Disney legend.
And I believe he's like a Disney fan and intends to.
Well, all these people are. That's why I love these people. And I practically, when I see them give their acceptance speeches, I'm like,
they're like crying. And I'm like,
anyone
okay, fine, whatever.
Another big Disney fan, I'm pretty much okay with it, you know. But even still, I mean, like talking about Jon Favreau, and he's worked on the films, but it's not. I'm sure if you counted them up, it's not a huge number.
Should be.
Eventually,
But when you consider some of the others who have been selected, he should already be one. You know what I mean? Like,
I see what you. Compared to like say Mark Hamill or somebody who I love, who's one of my heroes. But I know what you mean. As far as productivity within the Disney company.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I understand they're also trying to. That's the thing. They're doing synergy with this.
They're trying to bring everybody together.
They're trying to. Yeah, they're trying to get people excited. Like everybody's excited about Disney and Star Wars and Disney and Marvel. So let's include them in this, and they'll be excited to come to this.
Yeah.
And you also want, that's, I kind of get it, and I'm not totally against it.
What about the little maybe 80-year-old men who were working on the
and you know, yeah, they gave some
and they haven't like gotten anything.
There's some that you hear about and you're like, did that person ever get named a Disney legend? Because they should.
Exactly.
We've got one more we haven't talked that I accidentally wrote her on the bottom here instead of up there with the first bunch, but this is Whoopi Goldberg.
Film and television.
But Whoopi Goldberg has done a lot. She's actually done a lot for Disney,
yeah. So I'm cool with that.
It's sometimes it's usually a little campy. I guess because at the time that she was turning up in everything on TV that Disney did,
it was a little too much.
And I was like.
Right?
It's like they would do like a TV special, and you knew Whoopi Goldberg was going to be in it. And I don't know. I guess that's kind of old school. Like I mean, you know, you knew Disney, old school Disney. They always had their same actors. So
you know what I just?
I mean, she deserves it.
Oh my goodness, what's his name?
Who?
Oh gosh, Computer wore tennis shoes.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
He probably
Please tell me he's a Disney legend.
We haven't gone back and reviewed who have gotten this.
But people like that, you know what I mean?
Of course, Kurt Russell definitely should get. Yeah. He did a lot when he was young. When he was a kid.
I hope he's won, and I
know.
When
he was a kid, he did a lot.
I know,
of
like
Disney.
Annette Funicello's won already.
And I'm so happy that he's back in Disney.
Me too.
You know,
I love
that. Always makes me happy. You know.
I love him.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the list. I'm not like unhappy with it. I mean, I like everybody on the list. It's just, you know, some people it's kind of sketchy as far as it's like this was just, you know, to get a big name
I
on
think
there.
some people are being forgotten and they need to remember those people.
Well, it's just the sheer numbers of people that that we know have worked so hard for Disney for so long. And
I mean, obviously, like the underdog never gets recognized, I guess. But
there's some. I think that
I don't know.
They do it.
These are huge name people, you know.
But
what I mean?
not all of them. Look,
except for
the hardcore longtime Disney people.
So shouldn't we have like 50%?
Well, it's almost 50%. It's you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Yeah, 50-50 would be better.
Anyway, Disney. Let's not forget
even 75,
let's not forget
25.
the older Disney
the old school folks.
Let's bring a little more of that.
I know that they give that out, but yeah, a little bit more of that
before they die.
Stop talking about that. But yeah, so that's our assessment on that.
Yep.
On to the next thing.
Yep.
Okay, guys, let's talk about movies.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about animation, and then we'll talk about some live action.
Sounds good.
Okay. So the big animation panel, they talked about some new stuff. A lot of this stuff we already knew about. Right. Some of it we didn't. Now I'm the huge animation person.
Yes.
You go.
I go
sometimes.
Old school with the animation.
Yeah, you love the old school.
I'm more into the old school Disney animation than even, I would say, I guess when I was a little girl, I was into the golden ages. They're calling it the golden age.
You mean the Renaissance? The
Renaissance.
Disney Renaissance.
When I was a little girl, I was into the Renaissance, but when I hit 15, I just completely stopped being really into it. I'm more of a Peter Pan, Dumbo, Robin Hood type girl.
Yeah. I love it all. So a lot of this you're not going to be too excited about, I guess. Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh no, I love Wreck-It Ralph.
I dressed up as Wreck-It Ralph.
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
I cosplayed Wreck-It Ralph.
However, I haven't seen it in a while, but I do remember that I loved it. So
great movie.
What I'm excited about is a scene in this film that was described by the Dis Unplugged. Because they saw the preview. They
showed a clip. Okay, I'm going to stop you for a second because you mentioned the Dis Unplugged.
Right.
That awesome moment where Adam the Woo came and Justin Scarred and they did like a selfie in the background.
Yeah, you guys need to check out. Okay, first of all, check out these three.
These are like
Dis Unplugged, one of our favorite podcasts
about the parks, especially. It's about if you especially Disney World, but they do both.
Amazing. And then just for anything really, you can check out Adam the Woo
and
Justin Scarred.
Awesome. Justin Scarred, love him. Yeah, they did a hilarious.
You know, we haven't checked out Tim Tracker yet, but
Tim Tracker, we do watch Tim Tracker. Bookish Princess.
Right, Bookish Princess. She's great.
Yeah. Great information on all these shows.
Yeah.
There's more. What was it? Road Trippin'. Just a bunch of
Road
bunch
Trippin'.
of great.
I like you guys.
So many so many great Disney people on YouTube with so much information when you want to take trips or whatever.
But for these three, anyway, Justin's Garden and Adam the Woo.
Oh well, Disney Unplugged was doing a live cast.
Yeah.
And
they casually
just
went in there.
casually came up behind and did a photo bomb, and it was just awesome.
It was hilarious.
Anyway,
so look out for that video.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Animation, Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph too.
Yeah, there was a scene that was shown at the panel.
And it was about
the Disney princesses. Vanellope meeting the Disney
princesses, and they're all
voiced by their original voices.
But they're animated in the style.
Well, it's all
which
computer.
It's going to be strange
animated.
Seeing like Snow White and stuff.
I think it's been done already though. There's a Sophia the First TV show, and we've seen them at the parks in CGI. What's it? Not Fantasmic. Mickey's PhilharMagic. That's all.
I haven't seen that very much.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I've only seen it a few times. Some people say it's already outdated, but I love it.
But anyway, in this one scene, Vanellope meets the princesses, and they're talking about real issues.
Yeah, it's
about
like daddy
funny issues and things like that. So
yeah.
Should be really interesting.
I'm excited.
They're basically making fun of themselves. Disney's making fun of themselves.
Disney's gotten
self-aware.
It's gotten edgier.
Yeah,
it's gotten,
I like it.
It's self-aware. It's gotten and of course I always want them to keep that Disney feeling.
And you know what? I think it was the help of bringing things like Marvel in,
and Pixar,
kind of
Pixar.
Dark.
Back when
I don't want to say darkening, but kind of.
Yeah, they had to. They had to get a little edgier, like all those Netflix shows.
Yeah,
that's live action. But anyway,
so we're excited about that.
I'm excited for Wreck-It Ralph, big time. Coco, which is the new Pixar one.
Haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know.
You haven't seen the trailer? You've seen the trailers.
I haven't
it's
seen
like Mexican Day of the Dead. And it's about a boy who wants to play guitar or something like that. That's how much I've gotten out of it. But I mean, it's Pixar.
Pixar's always good.
It's the only time that it's been kind of was with the Cars movies, which I still like the Cars movies. Even I actually like all the Cars movies. They're entertaining, at their worst.
I'm not big into
Cars in general.
I mean, I
think that it's a very flawed universe.
I love classic Cars, so I'm all about flow and all that stuff.
I don't know a lot about Cars either.
But as far as like racing cars and things like that, nah, I don't care about it.
Yeah, but so that's the new Pixar one, and that's Coco. It's gonna be great, I'm sure.
I think it'll be good.
But have you been watching Pixar lately? The new Pixar movies?
Well, like Finding Dory.
I still haven't got her to watch. To really sit and watch Inside Out.
No.
Or what was the last one? Not Cars 3, but. Which you haven't seen either. You've seen like the first Cars.
Yeah, I've seen
only.
Cars 1. Yeah.
And there was another one. What's the other, like, I don't know, but I haven't gotten you to sit and watch. Oh, that's Zootopia is not Pixar. That's not Pixar though.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, it's a chore to get you to sit and watch these.
I don't like going with the fast.
But when you watch them, you like that's the thing. When you watch them, you like
I know.
Okay, Toy Story 4.
Yeah, that should be good.
Okay, it's Toy Story. They haven't gone wrong yet.
Nope.
So we'll see.
I'm excited.
I just don't want them to go too far to get to a point where they make a bad one.
Right. Well, we'll see.
Every time it seems like
Tom
they're
Hanks and
I'm sure they're not going to do it without Tom Hanks or Tim Allen.
Good.
Anyway, I don't know though. But yeah, I know. Come on. Incredibles 2. So I guess there's a lot of Pixar on this list.
I haven't seen Incredibles in forever.
Incredibles is one of my favorite Pixar movies.
I remember liking it.
Oh, I'm sure you liked it. I mean, I don't think you didn't like it. Yeah, because you were still at that point watching Pixar pretty steadily. And Incredibles is I can't say it's my favorite. And they've done such amazing ones.
I think
it was my favorite, but then they just started going like extremely amazing, like Ratatouille and WALL-E, and I mean,
WALL-E is without a doubt my
aspects
favorite,
of Up.
My favorite Pixar. See, that's the thing. If I want to put on a Pixar movie, I'll put on WALL-E.
Yeah. But you gotta check out that. You're missing good stuff.
I know.
Let's see what else. So there's
Brave, right? Brave.
Brave. You love Brave.
I love Brave.
I wasn't totally on the brave team at first. I had to watch it a few times because at first I just thought it was okay.
You know why? Because she's not a normal Disney princess.
Yeah, that's why you like her. Yeah. No, it's true. She's awesome. I like her. I just thought the movie, I don't know, reminded me of like Brother Bear.
Oh.
And I was like, that's not very original, turning people into bears. But it's really good.
I never saw Brother Bear.
It is really. You never saw Brother Bear, yeah. What else? There's an untitled Pixar film, which is about sort of it sounds like Monsters Inc., but mythical creatures like unicorns and probably centaurs and stuff like that. They live in their own modern city.
So like that early cartoon they had?
Which one? With the you mean like Fantasia?
Creatures coming around and stuff? I don't think it was
a Pixar cartoon?
No. I mean like way early Disney.
Oh, you mean like Flowers and Trees?
The trees,
or something like that?
And everything.
Like some
Are they trying to go into that?
I don't think it's like that. I think it's more like Monsters Inc., where they live in like a city and they're like, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's that kind of thing, I think. Again, we just got what we heard from.
So they're just
people describing the panels.
Rehashing ideas, but with different creatures.
Well, no, because I mean that's. Let me give you a big secret about Pixar. A lot of Pixar movies are rehashed ideas.
Yeah.
They're not really, I mean, some of their really great stuff is kind of original stuff, like Ratatouille and WALL-E. But then you have the fact that everybody knows that Cars, the first one, is Doc Hollywood. It's a remake of Doc Hollywood, the Michael J. Fox movie. And A Bug's Life is Three Amigos, and probably, I'm not sure if Three Amigos was based on something, but I know that it's the same plot as Three Amigos.
That makes sense, yeah.
And it's not just that, you know, they've got a few that are like, it's, you know, The Incredibles is Fantastic
But you know
Four.
what, they're just like remaking cartoon films also, animated films.
You're talking about, well, we're going to get to that. You're talking about the live action panel, which we're about to get into. But what else?
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
Which is not really part 2?
No, you're thinking of the Frozen holiday.
Oh, they actually announced Frozen 2?
I believe I picked up that there's a Frozen 2.
I didn't hear that, but maybe.
And there's this Frozen featurette. That might be wrong.
Yeah.
But I guess because I didn't hear anything about Frozen 2 in this, but I've heard about it elsewhere as a confirmed thing that they're working on. But it can get confusing because, like, even with Toy Story, they've done a couple of like half-hour TV specials already, and this is like that. But I just found out this is going to play before Coco.
Strange.
That's what I heard in one of those videos. Yeah. And now I haven't seen them do that I can recall since Mickey's Christmas Carol. Oh no, they did it. Well, they did Prince and the Pauper.
Okay.
I feel like that was before Rescuers Down Under. I'm not sure. And that was like one of those that was longer, short. You know, they call them featurettes, and they used to do them more often. And apparently, they say that's what this is going to be. It's going to be before Coco, which is cool. And it's going to be a holiday Frozen cartoon.
I'm excited about that. It's going to be cool.
Christmas special, basically. Yeah. I think what they did was they decided to make a Frozen Christmas special, and they were just like, oh, Frozen's too popular, let's put this at the movies. Yeah. I'm sure it's that way. Because if you watch the Toy Story Christmas special and Halloween special, the kind of Halloween special. I like the Halloween special. Yeah, it's not very Halloweenish, but it's good. Yeah. I mean, they're great. But if you watch those, they could have put those on the big screen. True. They're the same quality as the movies. But anyway, okay, so next, let's see. I think the only one we haven't got to, I don't know if they talk, oh, okay, well, before I get to that, there's a Disney television animation, you know, that's like the guys that were making like the direct-to-video stuff. They're making a feature. We don't know anything about it, or I don't know anything about it. They might have said some stuff in the panels, but I didn't find any videos that talked much about it. But apparently there is a new feature, and they say it's not going to be another Planes movie. So I guess it's the guys who did Planes and the Tinkerbell films and all that. I love the Tinkerbell movies. Those are great. You've never seen them probably, but they're great. I'm a huge Tinkerbell fan. But so the only other thing I can think of, it's on here. I don't know if they actually talked about it in the panel, but I know it had a big presence. I think they did something on it. some kind of presentation about this, and this is DuckTales.
DuckTales!
The new DuckTales, which we all know about.
Yes.
And you can watch clips and you can watch the intro on YouTube already. But DuckTales is my all-time favorite television show ever. And I should be really nervous, but I don't know.
We saw a clip the other night.
Only early on was I actually a little nervous.
And we saw a clip the other night.
Everything I've seen has been awesome.
David Tennant is awesome. It's Scrooge.
Yeah, and Scrooge is my favorite fictional character, period.
Yeah.
And he is. He's really good. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. The clip did not
it was funny.
Show them going on an adventure or anything.
But it was hilarious.
But it was funny.
Yeah.
It was the kids playing with their dart guns in the house, you know, those Nerf gun type things. You know, it's a big thing now. And yeah, and it was very funny. Webby was very funny. People generally, a lot of people don't like Webby in the old DuckTales because they just feel like she's a nothing character. Or a very like just a
bland.
The girl who's just the girl and that's all she is. And they've changed her a lot. I never disliked Webby, but they've changed her a lot.
Yeah.
Made her more of a personality.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, I'm excited for the new DuckTales.
Me too.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it? Are you actually gonna watch it?
Oh yeah. Well, I saw the clip and it was really funny.
Yeah, the clip was good. Yeah, so yeah. That's the Disney animation stuff. All good stuff. I'm really excited. When they were doing that Wreck-It Ralph panel, they brought out all the voices of the original princess voices on the stage. Oh God, I wish I had been there. That would have been epic for me. Oh man. But yeah, so someday we got to get out to D23.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
Okay. So that's it for that one, guys. Now the next.
On to the next. What do we have next? Live action?
We do. We're working on live action now, guys.
Great.
Let's give our thoughts on the news. And the first thing I have written here is A Wrinkle in Time.
Which I had no idea was even being made.
Did you even know that was a thing? A Wrinkle in Time, the book. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's a book from the 60s. It's a popular book.
But I feel like I've heard of it before.
I've never read it, but I've always known about it. There's actually been a couple of like movies before.
Which is kind of interesting that I've never heard of it because I'm super into that stuff.
Yeah, and I think the previous movies were like TV movies from back in the day. I don't know. But yeah, this one's got an all-star cast. Chris Pine from Star Trek and Wonder Woman, and you've got Reese Witherspoon, Oprah Winfrey.
It kind of
working on her Disney Legends.
Yeah, it kind
of
reminds me of those old, like there was a time period in the 70s. There was like a Disney era in the 70s where they were starting to do creepy films, or like less than pure films.
More edgy type film. We just watched one.
Oh, I know.
We watched a comedy called Midnight Madness, which I loved it because I used to watch it when I was a kid.
Maybe Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox and David Naughton, the two werewolves together as brothers.
My mind was blown.
Scott Howard and
Scott
David Kessler. His name was Scott in the movie. Michael J. Fox. Yeah, off topic, but
yeah, you should check that film out. It's hilarious. But what I was referring to is the more Watcher in the Woods.
Watcher in the Woods, The Black Hole.
Yeah.
There was a few. There were some that were for TV, and Child of Glass. I think that might have been for TV. I don't think I ever saw that one. Yeah, they did a few at that time.
So this kind of reminds me of that era.
Journey of Natty Gann. Oh, of course, the darkest one they did, maybe even even darker than Watcher in the Woods. Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yeah.
Or our favorite, Return to Oz.
Oh yes.
Return to Oz.
A little bit after, right?
No, it was the edge of that era,
end of
probably.
That era, yeah.
Kind of, depending on what you think is dark.
Return to Oz is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of say the end of that era was stuff like Flight of the Navigator. That's not really dark, but it was a little bit different, a little bit more serious than some of the Disney stuff before that. Anyway, all good stuff. Obviously, we love live action Disney.
Yes.
Which is what we're talking about right now. Wrinkle in Time, and
it's got Chris Pine. And
before we go into that, like in general about live action Disney, now because you're not so much into modern Disney animation. How do you feel about modern live action Disney? Some people, it's just the Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's all.
You'll have to list some for me.
Besides Pirates of the Caribbean, well, lately, as you mentioned before, they're doing a lot of live action animated classics. Right. They're doing...
Okay, so let's say Beauty and the Beast.
I don't know. Are they doing very much besides that lately?
Beauty and the Beast, I actually loved, and I found myself crying in the theater, but I do see its flaws. So, would I seek out to watch it? I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think I would seek out to watch it. If I was going to put on a live action Disney film,
having watched it, you loved it. I mean, I know you loved it.
Right, but I saw its flaws. It had, like, there are some movies that I love so much that I don't see their flaws. And that would go with the more old school live action Disney films.
And how much is of that is, it's kind of hard to say how much of that is nostalgia. And how, I
don't think it has to do with nostalgia.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think a lot of the old Disney films are very flawed, so much as they're just campy to some people's tastes.
Right, but I love them all.
Yeah, it's just a certain kind of campy, and of course they have dated concepts, you know, housewives and things like that, you know.
The Parent Trap, the No Mobile, I mean, the ones that we described before, just... I love, and even going into like cereals, like Spin and Marty and things like that. I mean, that's what I love.
Well, I mean, some of my favorites like Bullwhip Griffin, The Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin.
Yeah.
Roddy McDowell. I hope he's a Disney legend. Incredible. He should be a Disney legend.
If he's not a Disney legend, Disney, get on that.
I'm not saying he's not, but Roddy McDowell, Dean Jones.
I mean, come on. I think Dean Jones is.
Tommy Kirk. Yeah. Definitely the Moochie. Yeah, I mean, so many.
What about Wally Bogue? Is he a Disney legend?
Surely he is.
He better be a Disney legend.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, we love all those old live action movies.
So modern live action.
Swamp Fox.
Yeah, modern live action. I don't. Zorro.
Well,
I don't know.
To what point were you really into it? I would say probably that you were a kid in the '90s and you were still watching.
Oh well, that stuff.
They were still making great stuff in the '90s.
Hocus Pocus and Dick Tracy. I know people hate Dick Tracy, but you guys are crazy because that is a great film. I'm just telling you.
No, a lot of people do love it, but yeah, it's
some people think that's the worst movie alive, and I don't.
There are people like that about The Rocketeer. We love The Rocketeer.
Oh, The Rocketeer! You guys are nuts.
Well, a lot of people love The Rocketeer. Don't worry. There's a lot
that movie's amazing.
That movie has a cult following, a big cult following. You know, we loved Newsies before anyone did.
Don't give me that Broadway musical Newsy.
Yeah, we don't really like the changes we've heard about.
The film only.
I haven't seen the Broadway musical, but yeah, the fact that they changed some things that didn't seem necessary or logical or anything, but
it doesn't have that oomph anymore.
Yeah, well, you know what? Movie musicals are a little bit more gritty,
right? Which is what I love,
and less
campy.
They're a little less campy,
except for La La Land, which was awful.
La La Land, we didn't.
Anyway,
let's not get into that. We had a whole mess of it. Oh yeah.
Before you turn this video off because you love La La Land so much.
But we do love musicals and we do love Disney, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Mary Poppins.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Anyway. But Wrinkle in Time, we never really got into that, but it's sort of parallel dimension stuff. There's something weird going on right now. Because the whole parallel dimension and parallel universe thing, parallel time, all that has exploded. And you've got things like Stranger Things and there's a ton of TV shows and movies on this. There's a ton of stuff about this.
10 years ago it was Ghosts.
The Mist.
Now they're moving to parallel dimensions.
You could say that, but I don't know, man. I feel like there's something and somebody knows something.
Maybe.
And they're trying to get us comfortable with this whole idea of parallel dimensions.
Which I'm cool with because I love this
maybe they found something out and they haven't told us yet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe
unless they're like gnarly creatures.
Be bad. I don't know. But yeah, Wrinkle in Time is about that. So it sounds really interesting. But as I understand it, it's based on a book from 1963.
Which I've never read.
And I mean, I think I heard about A Wrinkle in Time when I was a kid, like on Reading Rainbow or something.
I feel like I've heard of it as well.
I feel like I heard about it on Reading Rainbow. Yeah. I'm not sure. But I know they made some TV movies of it that I never saw. Disney made them. I think Disney was involved with one of the TV movies. From like the 90s or something. I never saw it.
Oh.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm curious and excited to see that one. It's got a great cast. The trailer looks great.
What's the cast? It's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, Oprah, Reese Witherspoon, Storm Reed, who's a little girl. I don't really know her. I've never heard of her. Mindy Kaling, who's a comedian.
And Seth Rogen.
I wrote Seth Rogen down there because when one of the videos where we saw they were talking about it, I think it was a Diz Unplugged, they just mentioned Seth Rogen walking,
so maybe he's not
walking by. I don't know if he's directed it or if he's in it or if he's got nothing to do with it. I don't know.
He might not be in it.
He might be involved. Somebody mentioned his name. I think Rhino on the Diz Unplugged mentioned him. So I don't know for sure. The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, which again sounds like a parallel dimensions thing. There's something going on with parallel dimensions. But
which I'm all for.
Yeah, I'm totally.
I love it.
We love that kind of stuff. The Nutcracker. So this is the Nutcracker, a new Disney live-action feature about the Nutcracker. Yeah. But well, I don't want to say obviously they've changed.
But it's not going to be a ballet.
Correct. It's not going to be a ballet.
It's just a story.
As far as I know.
Which
how much of it is?
I don't get that.
We don't know. We don't know how true it's. I do. I totally get that. I mean, I totally get taking a story from a ballet and making a regular movie. If I'm gonna
see another Nutcracker on the screen, I guess I would prefer it to be like this.
There's already a perfect Nutcracker ballet.
The perfect Nutcracker is the Nutcracker by Pacific Northwest Ballet from 1986.
It's called Nutcracker the Motion Picture.
Yes, Nutcracker the Motion Picture.
It is not the one with Macaulay Culkin.
No,
this is older. This is from the 80s. That one is, I think, might be from the 90s. Right? Yeah, I think anything Macaulay Culkin is.
This one's from 86, I think.
Right.
And it's the most amazing Nutcracker you will ever see. So
we saw it live on stage. The last year they were running it, and we traveled to Seattle. And saw it, and it was amazing. But they did make a movie of it in the 80s, and it's awesome. It's a little edgy.
It's very edgy.
Very cool.
Slightly risque. But it's amazing.
Yeah, and that one is a ballet, and it's true to the, well, I mean,
it's not true.
No, it's its own twist.
Because now, this is way off topic, but Pacific Northwest Ballet has decided to go with just straight up old school Nutcracker.
Their Nutcracker now is just the traditional boring Nutcracker.
Which is really sad.
But we saw the last year of the good one. By the way, the good one, the movie we're talking about, is based on the artwork. The artist is escaping me right now, but he's the guy who worked on Where the Wild Things Are. He created those illustrations. Maurice Sendak, right? Maurice Sendak.
Hopefully.
I think so.
Yeah.
He illustrated the classic, or he might have even wrote it, the classic Where the Wild Things Are children's book. And he designed that Nutcracker that we love.
Yes.
And we highly recommend you seek out that movie at Christmas time. So good. But anyway, Disney, new live action Nutcracker. And the Four Realms.
If it's not a ballet, then I'm cool with it.
It's not. I don't think it's a ballet. It might
just because I love that other one so much.
It might be a musical, and they're getting on the musical train now, and that's fine because Disney does a great job with it.
Stop auto-tuning everything.
Don't auto-tune it. Yeah, that's.
We don't want it. We don't like it.
I loved the Beauty and the Beast movie, but that first song with Belle, where you could really notice the auto-tuning, that was the only real problem I had with that movie. And some of the backup actors, the extras that
it bugs me that this is a thing now. It bugs me that auto-tune is a thing now. Stop doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Cast people who can sing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I'm not gonna complain about Emma Watson. I'll just watch Emma Watson.
Well, no. What I think.
Wash dishes or do anything. Walk the dog, whatever.
They didn't give us a chance to hear Emma Watson sing. Maybe she would have sounded okay. Not auto-tune. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would prefer an untrained voice who acts amazingly. Well, she's a good actress. Like, I would prefer that than an auto-tuned person. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I see what you're saying.
It's possible
when she sang, I mean, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't like blow me away like the actual Disney princess voices.
Like Dr. Dolittle. He talk sings in that.
Yeah, he talk sings.
I would have been. I mean, I know that people are like, it's Belle, but I mean, I would have been okay with
it's better than auto-tuning.
Yeah,
hearing her real
better
voice.
Than auto-tuning.
And her real voice, from what we could tell, wasn't bad. It wasn't a great Broadway singer, but it wasn't bad. I mean, you didn't need to do that. It's kind of weird, but anyway, I'll watch Emma Watson. Like I was saying, I'll watch her do anything. anything. But anyway, we're going to talk more about that stuff.
Which brings us to Mary Poppins Returns.
Mary Poppins Returns, starring Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins.
I'm scared because I don't know if
she's scared. I am so excited for this movie. I'm so freaking excited.
I'm beyond scared. I'm beyond scared.
There were some big announcements at D23 that I'm really excited for. This was one of the ones I mean, it's not an announcement, we knew about it, but this is one of the things that was discussed at D23 that I'm the most excited for of all Disney right now. This and a few park things and DuckTales, but I'm so excited. Mary Poppins, one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite Disney movies. And
mine too.
It looks, from what I've seen, and we unfortunately didn't get to see the clips that they showed there, but from what I've seen so far in just little bits and things, it looks amazing and it looks true to the original.
I hope so.
I hope so too. It can still not come out right.
There's one thing that I'm excited about. The fact that they're bringing back
Dick Van
Dyke, and he's going to be actually dancing, and he's 90 years old. So yeah, Dick Van Dyke, good job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's going to be amazing. Colin Firth is in it as well, and I love Colin Firth. That'll be interesting to see him as a crotchety old banker. I mean, he's played crotchety roles before, but this is still a little more. I'm scared for Emily Blunt. I'm scared for her because I don't want to hear that auto-tune shit again.
Well, maybe she's a great singer. I don't know. I've never heard her sing.
I hope she is what I'm saying. Or even like just a normal singer. I would be okay with that too. Just talk sing. Just don't auto-tune it.
No auto-tune. You can't auto-tune Mary Poppins.
How can you auto-tune?
If you have to auto-tune Mary Poppins,
then you cast it wrong.
And as much as I think that Emily Blunt should be great in the role, it needs to be a great singer.
Julie Andrews, how do you top that?
You can't really top Julie Andrews. So I don't expect them to top Julie Andrews, but
at least find somebody who's like semi-okay.
And maybe they did. Maybe she is semi-okay.
I hope so.
But again, don't mess with it. Don't auto-tune.
Right.
But you know, I don't know. I don't know how far along this movie is. Okay, so now we get into the thing that we were talking about before, which is live action movie based on animated classics, live action movies.
So what have they done so far? They did Beauty and the Beast.
They did Beauty and the Beast. That's the most recent.
They've done kind of Sleeping Beauty, but as Maleficent.
Yeah, that's kind of like
which I actually liked that movie, but
a lot of people hated it. A lot of people loved it.
Once again, it's not something that I would seek out to watch.
If you hadn't seen it,
right.
Yeah.
What else have they done?
They've done Alice in Wonderland by Tim Burton, who's working on one of these new ones. And well, actually, the Alice in Wonderland movies, even the second one, which a lot of people say is terrible, are entertaining, fine movies to me. They're just
weird.
Well, all it is they're sequels, and we wanted to see, like, if you're gonna remake, if you're gonna sell it like a remake, because we thought it was gonna be
do it in the way that
Alice in Wonderland, and instead they made it a sequel. They should. We haven't gotten. I mean, imagine a live action Alice in Wonderland, the original story by Tim Burton.
Right.
He had a flashback scene in that movie in his Alice in Wonderland that was amazing, and I wanted to see that movie, and I wanted to see that movie more than I wanted to see what I was watching.
Did they ever bring the Jabberwocky into those films?
The Jabberwocky is a big part of the of this one, of the first one he did.
Here's the thing. I love Tim Burton's early work. I absolutely love Tim Burton's early work. He scares me with the stuff he makes now, because ever since Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it went down.
We just don't trust him after that.
And I'm actually starting to tear up right now because that was just horrible.
I can watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for the entertainment value, but it is just, you know what? We're calling it Charlie and Chocolate. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right?
No, Willy Wonka's the original.
Oh, that's the name of the original. Yeah. Okay, this one's okay. Tim Burton's
which is one of our favorites.
I always get that confused because one of them is Charlie and the other one's Willy Wonka. But yeah, the Tim Burton one, I can watch it. It's interesting to watch because Tim Burton's visuals are interesting, And he has interesting ideas. He's got interesting ideas, but when it's been done before and it's so much better.
Exactly. I mean, why?
The Gene Wilder version just cannot be
You
topped.
could say the same things about the Disney changing animated features into
like
live action, into live action things. Why do it again if it's not going to be as good? And I understand that people want to see like a live action version or whatever, but
I'm fascinated to see the live action incarnation, even though a lot of times there are things I would do differently.
Oh, Jungle Book was good. I like
Jungle Book was fantastic, and it did new things.
Right.
But it kept true for the most part to the original.
Yeah.
And you know, it was, I believe it was a pretty big hit. Jon Favreau directed that one.
Good job.
And they've got him back also to do another one. We haven't started talking about the different ones that are about to be done.
Well, so let's talk about.
No, wait a minute. We haven't. I want to say this real quick.
Okay.
Because we're talking about the ones that they've done so far.
Right.
And one of the ones that they did was Cinderella, which has its fan base. And you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
I saw it in theaters. And I was really disappointed.
Okay.
I was disappointed because it plays like a Disney princess commercial.
And it's not a musical either, right?
It's been a while since I saw it. I haven't picked it up yet, and being a Disney completist, eventually I'm gonna get the Blu-ray. I mean, eventually.
Because I love the songs in their animated.
No, I don't recall if they have any of those. The sad thing is, this is one of the worst things they did. Besides that, they hammer in the moral lesson. They hammer it into you.
Right.
Really not subtle at all, and way too much like a commercial, you know. And the whole thing felt like a commercial for the princess product line.
Yeah.
And it's not because it was a princess movie, because I love all the princess movies. This one was just badly done. And I hate to say that because the director was what's the name? Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Kenneth Branagh.
Oh wow!
He directed this movie, and it was a success.
Didn't he also direct that one movie that I used to like when I was a teenager, and now I watched it again, and it was kind of awful. What was it?
That was a musical. Love's Labor's Lost.
I was like, I love that film for some reason, and now it's okay.
That movie's terrible, but but I will watch that movie anytime. One part of that movie, Nathan Lane singing.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
No Business Like Show Business.
Absolutely.
Another one that's like that is like watching what's his name in Chicago when he sings that.
I love that movie so much because it was like the first of
Mr. Cellophane.
They were trying to like capture like the 30s and stuff like that. I don't know. It was an interesting.
It was an interesting movie.
It was an interesting idea.
But you know what? It played so much like it should have. That was something you should see live.
It's because
it looked like it kind of gives you the feeling actually like you're sitting there in the theater.
Very good, and that's
a lot of them aren't very good, and that's a big part of the problem with that movie.
Anyway,
anyway, that's not a Disney movie. That's not a Disney movie. But he made that Cinderella, and that Cinderella was just the part that really got me the worst. And there were a few things that have been pointed out about it, big flaws, like the fact that she's already practically grown up when the stepmother moves in and everything. It's not like in the cartoon where she suffers her whole life serving these horrible people, you know?
Or in Ever After.
Or in Ever After, and it tried to copy Ever After a lot.
That's like the perfect live action Cinderella. Maybe besides Slipper and the Rose, I haven't seen that.
I haven't watched Slipper and the Rose in forever, but I remember liking the Cinderella in that one. I don't remember how good the movie was. Ever After is great, but it's got no magic in it. I really wish Disney had really done an amazing job with this Cinderella, but one of the worst parts was the scene where they turn the pumpkin into a coach.
I don't think I've ever thought of that before.
They didn't sing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Oh.
And it was really interesting casting for the fairy godmother. It was what's her name from all the Tim Burton movies with Johnny Depp?
Oh, okay.
Helena Bonham Carter. Really interesting for the fairy godmother. They made her dumb. They made her
like the fairy.
Oh my God, the fairies in
Scrooged.
Scrooged? No. They didn't make her a ditzy one. I thought you were going to mention those horrible blue and green and pink fairies from Maleficent.
Yeah.
Awful. And the fairies were like the best part, one of the best parts in the original Sleeping Beauty movie.
Absolutely.
But anyway, they took out Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, and instead they did a slapstick thing where she turns the pumpkin into a coach inside the inside the garden house. Like, she's too stupid to take the pumpkin outside to turn it into a coach. And it's like, this isn't funny. Give me Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. And what's annoying is, in the end credits, they had her singing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Her singing it?
It was Helena Bonham Carter.
Why would you not include that, Disney?
It was so stupid.
Did they do
It was a really... They might have. I can't remember. I feel like they might have done that.
Because I love that song.
They might have.
Okay.
It's been so long since I've seen it. They might not have. I might have been waiting for it and been like... And it might have been like the one song they did include. I don't remember. I think it might have had its own song, but it just kept playing.
Oh, God.
I don't remember. It's been a while. Legends. Hey, that's an awesome song.
I like that song.
Legends are now and forever. But anyway. we're going real slow with this, but here we go.
Lion King.
Lion King is one of these new live action ones. That's the Jon Favreau one. That's the one I'm not worried about because I trust Jon Favreau.
Yeah, so do I.
After Jungle Book, I totally trust him.
And after what you said about the Planet of the Apes CGI, I'm okay with that.
The new Planet of the Apes movie, which I haven't even done a review for, is terrible. But it's terrible that I haven't reviewed it because it's an amazing movie. Yeah. And the CGI, and I didn't feel this way about the previous two. And I love the movies, but I didn't feel like this about the CGI. It's flawless in the new Planet of the Apes movie. Totally realistic. Nothing you wouldn't know, you know, if you didn't know. But I mean, it's so real.
That's
I can't
cool.
even tell you.
I'm excited.
And hopefully that's going to be the way it's going to look in Lion King. I don't know. We didn't see the clips, but apparently people who went to D23 did see them, and they were excited. They said it was amazing.
Shot for shot almost of like the animated films.
Maybe, and that's fine. I mean, that's you know, that's going to be amazing to see. And yeah, you know, like, oh well, it's already been done, right? But it's going to look. It's going to be a different experience. Right. It's a different experience. That's all. You know, it's to see it real.
Yeah. But not
what
real,
I don't get is
they're not real animals, so it's not
but
really real. But they look
totally... technically it's an animated film. But they look totally real.
Tricky Disney.
Yeah. It's still just another animated remake, I guess. I wonder if the backgrounds will be animated too, probably. Or not animated, but you know.
Next one?
No, wait a minute. I was going to say something about that, and I'm trying to remember about the what were we talking about?
Jon Favreau and Lion King.
Jon Favreau and the Lion King and the CGI and
Planet of the Apes.
Nah, forget it. I can't remember.
Oh well.
Anyway, but maybe I was just gonna say that everybody who saw it said it looked amazing.
Okay,
I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe that's what I was gonna say. I don't remember. Oh no, here's what I was gonna say. I got it. If you give me time, I always get it. Usually. That they brought James Earl Jones back to play Mufasa.
Cool.
Which is awesome. But if you're going to do that, why not bring the whole cast back?
Also...
I just don't get that.
Have we heard James Earl Jones lately? Because lately he's just been voicing himself
It just sounds like his own
Jones.
voice. Well, that's fine with Mufasa, I think.
I guess.
But when he played Darth Vader, it just sounded like James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Rogue One.
Yeah.
I love it. But he did just sound like himself. And normally he sounds a little bit different. I don't know. But I don't care. He's awesome. But I just don't get why you just bring one member of the old cast back. I know who could do that again after James Earl Jones. But